good, people? Izzy Max here, back again for week 2 of season 4 of the MDL. This week I'm going up against Goomy, who is a phenomenal battler and super good and creative with prep. I started my recording a little late. I realized I wasn't recording after I picked my mons. So for game 1, I am leading Mammoth Swine Latios, I'm sorry. No, Latios, I was right. With Melmetal and Electivire in the back. So let's just go ahead and jump into this. Like always, it is sped up, so it's not incredibly long, but here we go. So like I said, my lead, he is going to lead Tornadus and Volcanion. So this is a real interesting lead. I am very bulky in my Mamoswine and Pasho Berry, I'm sorry. So I know I'll be able to live a water hit. So I'm just going to set the Tailwind, figuring that he might Tailwind himself. That way I can match. He is going to get the first hit off no matter what, but then I'll be able to hit my Pasho, hit him with an attack. And I am kind of playing around Shucka a little bit, so I am going to max Rockfall. Hindsight 2020, I should have went for the Quake just because I would get the special defense boost, which you'll see in future turns why that mattered. But I didn't. I was just kind of playing around the Shucka because I did think it would be a good item choice. But this is playing out kind of as I expected it when I seen the leads. So he is maxing and he's going to Tailwind, which isn't a big deal. This is what sucks. So we do see Max Strike. This was unfortunate. This is not what I was expecting, so good prep on him for the speed control, because I am Tailwinding myself. Thought that I would be able to do what I said prior, but Rockfall is going to come out, not quite do as much as I thought it would, but I'm pretty confident that the Max Quake in the following turn will KO, since I did see Life Orb. So here, I just kind of have to go for it. If you notice now, I am at full health with a fair bit of special defense investment. And I should be able to, granted, if it's a high roll, live a Max Geyser in the rain after Pasho. I won't live on much, but I'll live on enough to get the KO. So we do see this. The Pasho comes out, and it OHKOs me. So this was about, we were talking on Discord after the game, this was about 18-19% chance roll to OHKO, and he ended up getting it, but I am just going to Thunderbolt now and do a fair bit of damage to the Tornadus. And this actually puts me in a weird position because I could follow me and keep the Latios alive, but honestly I'm not too worried about it. After my Mamo went down, and my flowchart kind of got screwed up, I wasn't really expecting to do anything spectacular here, so I am just going to Wild Charge. I am going to be faster than the Volcanion, but Latios ends up living on 4, so my Latios is super bulky this week. It is Dragonberry, I think it's Haban, so it's not going to come up in this because we do not see the Naganadel. But nevertheless, Latios, incredibly bulky, no speed in it at all. So we are able to get the double KO, and now I'm back in position to kind of do some work here. So we are going to now see the Avalugg, and I thought about follow meing here, but then I thought my Latios isn't really going to do anything, and I'm expecting, you know, maybe a fake out. So I am just going to fire off an Iron Tail, which is super risky because it is only 75% accurate. But in my last game, I was firing off Cross Chops, and I didn't miss a single one. So I said, all right, why not? Let's just try it. Electivire was a backup max option. I ended up hitting the Iron Tail, which is hilarious. And we see the high horsepower come out, which is going to KO the Electivire. Which honestly is fine. The Tailwinds peter out, not a huge deal. My Melmetal is built odd this week, so we are just going to fire off the Psychic into the Avalugg. I know the Avalugg special defense isn't the greatest, and here I am playing around the weakness policy on the Avalugg. I don't want to hit it unless I have to, and I see the swagger come out. So now we know Reflect, Swagger. I'm thinking maybe Sucker Punch or Darkest Lariat for an attacking move. And we didn't see a Fake Out, so I'm thinking it's probably not there, but Melmetal is going to be able to pick up the KO on the Grimmsnarl. So everything's looking pretty good here. Knowing that I am faster and Melmetal is an absolute boss, I'm able to take that hit. And I'm pretty sure this is going to KO. I know Avalugg has an incredibly good defense stat, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it. So off comes the Psychic, seeing how much it did. I was very confident that the double Iron Bash would kill. It is an incredibly stupid move. So that's going to be game one. I feel like I played very, very well there. His prep was really good with the Max Strike. I thought that was very creative and a good way to just counter my Tailwind. I don't know if he was expecting me to Tailwind as well. But other than that, I feel like I played to my outs relatively well there with targeting and stuff. So we'll go into the second match. He does have a lot of things. Now we can see the teams. You see all my items and the useless Haban. I almost pulled the trigger on the Armaldo Pelipper in game one, but decided against it. And you see here, he does have a Trick Room option with the Runerigas and Wishy Washy. And then you've seen the rest of the Mons there in game one. Here, like I said, I'm just kind of debating whether I go Rain or not. It looks decently strong, but I'm not sure that the Armaldo can KO the Volcanion. So I'm just going with the same 4, but I'm leading it differently. So I'm going to just lead the Electivire Mamoswine and just kind of see what I can do there. And you'll see here that it actually really worked out. So here as we go into the game, of course my lead is as I stated, but he is actually going to go with the Grimmsnarl Avalugg lead. So he's going to lead with what he finished with. And here I'm thinking, okay, I know there's a ground move. Again, I'm playing around the weakness policy because I'm not sure if it's there yet or not. And I almost maxed my Electivire. But if we were to see like a Fake Out and then a high horsepower, Electivire would probably go down. So instead, I'm going to, again, just kind of play around the weakness policy on Avalugg. Again, I'm not for sure. And I am just switching out, kind of calling the ground move here because it is so obvious that I could just follow me. So we do see the Reflect, which is important. It does really help with this calcs. As you're going to see, this is going to do little damage. And we do see the high horsepower. So that was a very good play for me. And here I have a fair bit of options. So again, I'm kind of debating to max or not. I really don't want to activate the policy on Avalugg just in case it's there. Spoiler alert, it's not. So I am still going to target down this Grimmsnarl. Again, I'm not sure if it's full moveset. I thought about max Psychicking the Avalugg, but I was afraid if he does just Swagger and Ice move, I would just die. But here we do see the light screen, so now I know there is probably no Sucker Punch, no Fake Out. It's probably going to be Darkest Lariat. So again, I'm just kind of firing off hits, and we see the Icicle Spear. So I know I can live at least 3 of these. So I'm praying. There's the third one, and the fourth one ends up coming out. So that's kind of unfortunate. So now I feel like I'm kind of in a bad spot. I do have the psychic damage off on Avalugg, so now I'm not quite 100% sure that he's going to max it. So after seeing the Reflect and the light screen, I said screw it. I'm gonna KO this Avalugg. I have to. So I am gonna max the Mamo and just kind of see where I go from here. This is kind of a risky play, but I feel like it's kind of one that I have to go for. So, big Mamoswine for the second time in a row, third time this season. This has been an incredibly fun mon. But here comes the Rockfall. Gonna do a good bit of damage. So now I am 100% sure now that, of course, it is not weakness policy, just in case this does go to a game 3. And we see Darkest Lariat. So it's not gonna be doing incredible amounts of damage. but all the chip you can get on Melmetal is super important. So Avalugg goes down. I am now wasting max turns, which doesn't feel great because a late game Volcanion kind of felt bad, which is why I wasn't doing it in the first place. And seeing that it wasn't weakness policy, I kind of wish I would have just Rock Slide and Double Iron Bash, because I'm pretty sure it would have KO'd based on the damage. But here I now see Wishy Washy, so I'm expecting like Runerigus in the back. So again, I really don't want to hit Grimmsnarl. I want to leave it on the field. It's doing minimal damage, and I can kind of work around the Darkest Lariat. So I'm just going to get as much damage off on this Wishy Washy. This thing is an absolute threat. It's got monster stats. So here comes the Quake. I'm not expecting this to do too much. The Reflect is still up, but that is sizable damage. I wasn't sure what would do more with the Melmetal, whether it be the high horsepower or the Double Iron Bash. So I do just go for the high horsepower. Again, it's just chip damage. I need as much chip on this Wishy Washy as possible. And he goes for the Quake. So I am at +1 special defense, but seeing how much damage that did and seeing how invested I am, I kind of expected that to actually be Earthquake. So here, I'm just doing the same thing. There's no reason for me to target the Grimmsnarl really at all. And then just kind of doing some maths, like, yeah, it's not super effective. It's stab. I get double hits with the Iron Bash. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do this. He is wasting my max, which is, it sucks because I'm not able to get any damage off this turn, but you'll see here that I make a really good play. I really wish I had Thunder Punch on the Melmetal. I almost did. But here, I am going to actually target the Grimmsnarl. I know I am faster than the Grimmsnarl, and in this way, I'm at least able to get off some damage and KO him on in the process. Knowing he probably has Trick Room in the back kind of sucks, but I do have some answers to it. I mean, I have an Ice type here on the field. So there goes the high horsepower, and it does end up KOing the Grimmsnarl, which isn't super important, but it would have KO'd my Melmetal anyway. So here, we're going to see some damage, but it does drop the Wishy Washy into 50%, which is actually a super important number. And he's going to set the rain. So setting the rain means he's actually going to be able to maybe KO Mamoswine. So this turn right here is actually super, super crucial. Again, that 50% is super important. You're going to see here, I think my calc was right. But I am just going to Ice Shard, and I really wanted to fire off a hit into the rune. I fully expected the Wishy Washy to protect, but seeing that the rain was up and that I wasn't targeting it, I couldn't afford Mamoswine to actually go down, because if you look at my set, I really don't have an answer to hit the Runerigus. So here, I'm going to make the play. If he doesn't protect, I just win kind of on the spot, but he does end up protecting. So that is kind of unfortunate, but that's what I had to do. Icicle Crash comes out, does sizable damage, and then we get the flinch, which is super unfortunate. He's probably setting Trick Room there, and now he has to bank on the double protect. He doesn't end up getting it. Icicle Crash goes off again, doing, again, sizable damage. You are now one hit away from being KO'd. We do see the Wakan, but I crit. I'm not sure that it mattered. This Electivire is max HP adamant. I don't know how much that mattered. Maybe a lot. I don't know. Wishy Washy doesn't have the best HP stat. But here, I'm just going to follow me. Maybe we're going for a strong hit. I don't know, body press or something. And here we see the Poltergeist. It misses. Again, I just followed me, so it doesn't really matter other than diff, but it really didn't matter anyway. I'm Focus Sash, so I would have lived it. And that's going to be the game. So super, super good prep, and GG's to Goomy. The end of Game 2 was kind of unfortunate, but we both played incredibly well. Game 1, I felt like I was on the back foot as soon as he KO'd my Mamoswine, but I was able to kind of claw back into that one. And then game 2, I feel like I played super solid with some good reads. He put me in a spot at the end there. If he set Trick Room, I would have been kind of in a rough position. But I could have just, followed me. Well, I wouldn't even want to follow me. So I don't know. If he would have got Trick Room up, it'd have been interesting to see where that would have went, because we were both at full health. And the Wishy Washy was special. So I would have lived the rain hit through Pasho. So I don't know. It would have been interesting. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for me. Again, GG's to Goomy. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. So peace.